Hello, welcome to the Wrestle Factor Podcast. My name is Josh. With me is my brother Jay, as always.
So much intensity.
So much intensity! Oh my god! Before we get started with the show, everything that happened at Stomping Grounds, I think congratulations is in order because Jay correctly predicted every single match and the special guest referee for Stomping Grounds correctly.
I watch too much WWE.
Oh, well, to be fair, some of it's probably luck-based. Whatever. I'm just going to say that.
I mean, you can call it luck, you can call it skill. I don't care.
Regardless.
Nobody's going to call it anything because nobody's listening to us.
Yeah, that's true.
Just kidding.
Regardless, he got them all correct, so he earns an additional 10 points to his roster, which we'll go over all the Fantasy League points and how the season finished out towards the end of the show. Not going to spoil anything yet.
We'll get to it.
We'll get there. But first, we want to talk about what I have started calling 2 out of 3 match mania. Raw and Smackdown last couple weeks has had an ungodly amount of match restarts, 2 out of 3 falls, and elimination matches. And I know the reason why.
People were complaining that there's not enough wrestling on a wrestling program, so now every match is 3 matches.
Wrong. Wrong.
Yeah, I know.
The actual reason
It's stupider than that.
My understanding is that Vince, for one reason or another, has decided that there will be no more action during the commercial breaks, which happened on SmackDown this week, anyway.
Which is like, what's the point of even being there live anymore?
So there won't be any wrestling during the commercial breaks, so we have to structure matches and whatnot around that. And Vince's answer to this is, let's just book 2 out of 3 falls, or elimination matches, or let's just have matches restart. Last Monday on Raw, we had, was it a 2 out of 3 falls on Monday last week?
Yes, I believe that's when it started.
And then there was Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan. They started their match. It ended quickly. Then they went to commercial and restarted it.
Yeah. It's either a 2 out of 3 falls match, an elimination match, or screwy booking that leads to a commercial break, and then the match gets restarted when they come back.
Which there has been absolutely no storyline reason for any of this. No. They're not explaining why out of the blue we have so many of these 2 out of 3 falls matches, why we're having so many elimination matches, why people are just like not happy with the first match that took place and they can't just move on like they always do. They have to do a second one.
Yeah.
Like,
why wait week to week to do 50-50 booking when you can do it all in one match?
Yeah, just speed it up now.
Exactly. Just bury people like twice as fast.
Yeah.
Bury twice as many people twice as fast.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to happen because with these 2 out of 3 falls matches, I feel like people get buried more.
Yes.
Because you're losing, like, you are losing decisively, like in a regular match anyway, but like in the case of was Kofi and Seth against Owens and Zayn from last week, they lost 2 clean. Yeah. That doesn't need to happen.
Because the champions aren't going to take a pin.
No. But then we've seen this week that you can lose by disqualification or anything, so I don't get it.
I don't know. It's a dumb idea. Now it totally makes that stipulation worthless. Yeah.
I feel like 2 out of 3 falls should be reserved for matches that need a lot of build to them. Or like with TakeOver that just passed, or not the one just passed, but TakeOver New York, Gargano and Cole had the 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah. That was a fantastic match. It was it built to...
It was a good way to structure it because takeovers are always just, high energy the entire time. And then you get to the main event and people might be a little burned out. So those first 2 falls were kind of just like a buffer.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that last one, that's when things started getting intense again.
Yes.
But there's no point to that. But the way they're doing it this way.
Right. But with the NXT match, it was used as a storyline device to help book the rematch for TakeOver 25. Mm-hmm. So in that instance, it's great. But when you have 4 or 5 of these in 1 week, they're useless. They mean nothing.
Yeah.
You can just be like, hey, we're going to have this match next. You go to commercial, and then you have the match.
If anything, it should have just been like, yeah, we understand that commercials are a thing. Watching it on TV is a thing.
Yes.
So it's like, but if you're just going to cut off the action completely, and just have basically 3 mini matches instead of just one full match, then what's the point of seeing it live?
Yeah.
Because the people there are just going to see this 60-second contest, and then they're going to stand around for a few minutes, and then just go back into it for no particular reason.
Yeah, that also kind of like raises another point I thought of.
If you don't want commercials, then go see it live.
Right.
But if you don't want commercials, don't watch it at all.
But if you go see it live, you have to watch them stand in the ring for 4 or 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Like they're doing commercial anyway. But no, that raises another point I thought of. With these 2 out of 3 falls, it's already bad enough on the weekly television that the matches are shorter, and it's like these competitors, when they wrestle on a pay-per-view, they can go for like extended periods of time. They can have 30-minute matches.
Yeah.
Because like they're kicking out of finishers, they're taking everything their opponent has. On TV, these matches are shortened down to like 7-8 minutes. They're losing after one finish sometimes.
Yeah.
Or just whatever. But at these 2 out of 3 falls, they're cutting it down even more. Kofi got pinned whenever 2 months ago he ran an entire gauntlet by himself.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm asking for continuity from WWE. We know that they can't give it to
Consistency? No.
Oh, what is that? Oh, no, whatever.
Hey, let's call up.
Moving on.
Let's call up half the NXT roster. Hey, where's all those NXT guys? Who?
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 Yeah. Well, Ricochet's the United States champ now.
Oh wow! And then he lost the next night.
Well, to be fair, he lost to AJ Styles.
Ricochet beat Samoa Joe for the U.S. title on Sunday. Loses to AJ Styles the next night, which you could see that.
At least it was a one
AJ.
fall match.
Yes,
and it was well fought, but AJ eventually beat him.
Yes,
that builds the storyline.
Yeah, it was the veteran beating the newer guy. I wouldn't say rookie, but the newer guy. But then Samoa Joe comes out during that show as well and beats up Kofi Kingston, and then he's just automatically in a championship match.
Yeah. I don't know.
We almost need to make this a video podcast because it's like there's no words.
You can't see most of our reactions in our expressions. You can't see them.
Because you have that, and then on SmackDown you have Nikki Cross facing Bayley to where if Nikki wins, Alexa gets another shot at the SmackDown championship.
Which I understand somewhat because Nikki is trying to make it up to Alexa. Like, that she, ruined her first chance anyway, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But in what logic in the universe do you earn a title shot for somebody else?
Exactly.
That's like when the New Day got Kofi's WWE title match for him.
Yeah.
That doesn't work for me. Stop.
In the NFL, if you make it to the conference championship and you win that, the loser isn't going to go face the other team in the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's like, oh no, we don't want to play in the Super Bowl. We just won this for you guys. You guys go.
You guys
go have fun.
You go play.
You go have fun.
Yeah.
So on top of too many 2 out of 3 falls matches, it's just too many rematches.
Yeah, there was a lot more of that too. Like
watching SmackDown, and it's the worst of both worlds, where you have Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler again.
And if Dolph had won, he would have got another title opportunity because he can't just admit defeat.
WWE just can't, admit that they haven't built up stars. The fact that Samoa Joe, of all people, is having to be thrown over to SmackDown. More Raw stars are being thrown over to SmackDown for championship opportunities.
Roman Reigns is effectively a Raw star again.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time he was on SmackDown.
It's whatever.
Yeah, bring back the Undertaker.
Yeah, bring him back for Extreme Rules.
That's what's gonna fix things.
Maybe that's why they had Roman on Raw, because Undertaker probably wouldn't go to SmackDown. They had to give him a fatter paycheck for that.
I don't want to get into that. We'll be here forever if we talk about that.
I just why Extreme Rules? You got Extreme Rules and then SummerSlam's right after that. Why not save Undertaker for SummerSlam?
I don't know. Why team up with the guy?
They're probably going to barely break even having to pay the Undertaker for Extreme Rules.
I don't know. I just don't know anymore. AEW.
The thing is, like, WWE, last week they put on fairly decent shows. I enjoyed it last week.
It was a decent lead.
And then they go and do something
Stomping
like...
Ground was a good show.
Better than I expected.
I feel like Stomping Ground is what an average Raw should be.
Yes.
Like, there was plenty of action. Things kind of had time to breathe. You know, there was some screwy stuff going on, but then there was also just, you know, straight up wrestling.
Yes.
It was good.
Well, like the steel cage, like we both predicted Kofi winning, but I didn't expect him to win that way. Nothing wrong with how he won whatsoever.
Yeah. He won within the confines of the rules.
Yes, he did. But like I've never seen a finish like that before, so that was cool. Yeah. See him dive out to make that last second win. Also, the main event, while I am not the biggest fan of either Baron Corbin or Lacey Evans, I feel like they actually told a story with it. It was a little long-winded at times.
Yes.
But they told a story, and I enjoyed it. It's like, Lacey Evans was announced as special guest referee, which you called, by the way. And I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, he's going to be right.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be Lacey.
Because there was no other point for them to keep saying, like, oh, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch's boyfriend.
They kept mentioning that they were dating, and that Seth keeps beating up everyone that Baron picks. Like,
or like when Seth's making his entrance, like Seth Rollins, whose girlfriend Becky Lynch defeated, you know, or like retained her title earlier in the night. It's like, why do you have to mention that?
But anyway.
Oh, I know why.
So Lacey is the special guest referee. You know, Seth and Baron have their match, and then Seth's about to win by countout. Lacey announces the match as no countout.
Which I didn't know refs could do that.
I didn't either. They're apparently authority figures now, but
supposedly there are certain things that are up to the ref's discretion.
Like, well, calling the match is one thing.
Yes,
changing the match completely should not be allowed.
No more countouts. Which, like, at least on that one, like, she was about to count to 10, but then she changed it on the no DQ. You know, it was Baron used the chair and then she changed it.
Yeah, it was. He should have already been disqualified, but I mean, it's Lacey Evans working for Baron Corbin, so I understand why she didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did that next. Baron beat down Seth with a chair. Lacey was like, well, this is a no DQ match now. And then Seth got in her face. She slapped him a couple of times, low blowed him, and then that's when Becky came out to make the rescue.
Finally.
Beat down Lacey. New ref comes in. It's the same ref from Super Showdown. Finally counts the pin on Baron. Seth retains. And then they celebrate for 3.5 minutes by hugging and faking their romance on screen. You can just tell that this is not something they really wanted to be part of a storyline, I feel.
I think they would prefer to... I don't think they really wanted it to really be out there.
No.
You know? But then, yeah.
But, so now we have, as of Raw, we now have Seth and Becky versus Baron and Lacey. Both titles are on the line for Extreme Rules. Winners take all. Which, not excited about, but hopefully, after that match, this whole mentioning their relationship will be done. It's cool that they're a couple. I like both of them a lot.
Yeah.
I don't care about them being a couple as far as storyline goes. They can be a couple in their private lives.
If you're gonna bring up the couple aspect on TV, then they have to be heels. Like
or something. Or
I think back to Triple H and Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whenever Triple H is the world champion and Stephanie, used her power to get the women's championship, and then they're running the show that way.
Yeah.
You got to be heels if you're going to do that.
Or even something like 205, they have Mike and Maria Kanellis. They work together as a team, as husband and wife. They go for the same stuff together as they work for a goal.
Yeah.
And it works for them. But them just referencing their relationship and having it play into a storyline, and for no other reason than that.
Yeah.
I will say at least it played into something. It wasn't just for nothing, but still outside of that, of the end game of the storyline, what's the reason?
I don't know. I'm not entirely disappointed with the idea of the mixed tag match. I just don't like that it's set up for another pay-per-view. If they had just set up a mixed tag match on Raw and gotten it over with, fine, whatever. But the fact that you had Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins for the Universal title of Super Showdown. Baron lost, Seth retains. You have the same thing at Stomping Ground.
Mm-hmm.
You have Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch for the title at Money in the Bank. You had it again at Stomping Ground. They're basically just doing the same rematches
together.
Yeah, just all as one as a package deal.
Right, but to be fair, at least it was like Baron and Lacey like asked for the matches or a match against them, and Becky was like, fine, but on one condition, this is after we beat you, this is the end. You don't get any more opportunities, nothing. And then they were like, okay, well, it's going to be our stipulation or blah, blah, blah. So it's like, whatever you got, we'll do it, fine. And it's like, okay, well, it's going to be winners take all. So at least in this sense, Becky and Seth, in a way, asked for it. At least that makes sense. It wasn't just Shane coming out or something and announcing, well, they're going to be in a match against you two, and it's going to be for both titles. And I'm like, well, why are they doing this again?
They shouldn't, though. We've had Money in the Bank. We've had Super Showdown. We've had Stomping Grounds. We're going to have Extreme... There's 4 shows between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. You're telling me they couldn't come up with more.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt and saying that Extreme Rules will be A, the blow-off match, and B, where they can set up the high-profile matches for both titles at SummerSlam. Because then they can effectively build for the next month for SummerSlam with better challengers. Because I'm telling you now, though, if I have to see both Baron and or Lacey fight for those titles again at SummerSlam, I'm probably not going to watch it.
I want both of them off the show completely, SummerSlam. Please.
I don't hate Lacey. I really don't. Find something else to do now. You've already lost twice.
Her voice is getting annoying, honestly. Yeah. The shtick was good for a minute, but I feel like they've exhausted it, kind of,
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to do this whole thing of like, oh, you're better, but you just keep losing, And even whenever you cheat, you still lose. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, we're just going to move on because I'm kind of tired of complaining about stuff. How do you feel about Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura? Finn Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
I want to be excited for this.
Why aren't you?
Because it's WWE. What have we just talked about for the last 15 minutes?
They're probably going to do the same thing they did with Shinsuke and Styles, where it was supposed to be like the dream match. It's going to be fantastic. And I was like, it's not bad.
Here's why I can't get excited for it. I honestly forgot that Finn Balor was even champion.
I mean, I didn't forget, but it's like, I haven't seen Finn Balor in a while. I wonder what he's up to.
Like, you're the Intercontinental Champion. Where you been?
Right.
Shinsuke just comes on the screen. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? There was really no reaction.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. And maybe if I see a little more, I could get excited. But
keeping wrestlers like away from TV time so that other storylines can finish up and then they introduce them back in is totally fine. I like that idea. But champions are ones that probably should be prominent at least once a week.
Yes.
Because otherwise, why are they a champion if they're not there to fight or defend their title?
They need to be featured every week in some way.
So,
but yeah.
I haven't seen Shinsuke in forever either. But like I said, that's fine. He was probably off doing his own thing, not being a champion anywhere.
Yeah.
But I strangely like the idea of Shinsuke being Intercontinental Champion, though. I don't know why, but...
Yes and no. He was losing enough as it was whenever he was still on TV. And usually whenever you get some sort of mid-card title, it's not any better.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to be excited. Hopefully things will change. But as of right now.
I was going to say, as of right now, I am looking forward to it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
Because I like Shinsuke a lot. I like his character, and I like, even though that he speaks very broken English, I think he's a very good promo.
Yeah.
Or at least he's very good at reading a script.
Yeah. If you only got to memorize like 1 or 2 lines.
I miss when he was going for the U.S. title, and it was the United States of Knock America.
Yes. I hope they could at least try and save this match for a pay-per-view, so they'll have time. Not, they had one little interaction last week, so they're going to have a 2 out of 3 elimination falls match.
2 out of 3 elimination falls, restarted, no DQ match.
Yeah. And then in between the second and third fall, the 24/7 title is just gonna, they're gonna have a whole bit in the ring. But yeah.
Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. There was no Firefly Funhouse this week, as we all expected. I didn't notice this as it was happening, but there was like little secret cameos from all of the characters in it at various points in the show. Yes. Raw and Smackdown. But something really fun did happen on, I think it was Raw. I don't remember what show it is. It all feels the same.
It is all the same.
The 24/7 championship changed hands 5 times?
Something.
4 or 5 times? Because it was on Raw, because it was during Miz TV.
Yeah.
And then R-Truth got pinned by...
I want to say Heath Slater?
It was Heath Slater.
Which I think his first championship in WWE?
Probably. Come a long way since he pinned Seth Rollins in the main event of Raw that one week. Did you remember that happened?
No.
Yeah.
I remember his days back in the Nexus, though.
Or 3MB.
I try not to remember those days.
Push that out of my mind. But anyway, Heath Slater pinned R-Truth. R-Truth pinned him back. Then Cedric Alexander almost pinned him. R-Truth got out of the ring, and EC3 actually pinned Truth, became champion for the first time. Held it for about 5 seconds before he got pinned back by R-Truth.
Because Carmella stole the title.
Well, distracted EC3 so
yes.
Truth could get a roll-up, because this is the roll-up championship.
Yes.
Hello.
Which, I'm glad for R-Truth. I'm glad he had, a thing that could get him featured, but at the same time, it's is this just his belt?
Yeah,
it's not the 24/7 title; it's the R-Truth title. I
really thought at first that they were just gonna leave it on Heath Slater because he's also he's very good at the comedy acts and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought they might give it to him for a while.
Put it on Braun.
But I guess they are gonna keep it on Truth and try and milk all of the comedy for what it's worth. But my one complaint about the 24/7 title is that everyone always wins by roll-up. And I understand it changes hands at any time. You got to surprise your opponent. Can nobody win just by, knocking them out with a chair or something?
Yeah.
Chair to the back, that's all it takes, and you pin them. How many times does a chair put someone down? When they're not in a match, of course.
I don't know.
But
I want to say, kind of going off that gimmick, back when the hardcore title was a thing, I want to say there was a pay-per-view where the title changed hands 4 or 5 times within a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's somebody gets hit with a chair, pinned, they run off with a title, and then it's they get attacked and then get pinned, and the title changes hands. It's not really like that. You're saying, it's just everybody wins with a roll up.
Yeah.
It's a run up behind, roll up, pin, and then
Mm-hmm.
That's how all the matches are won nowadays.
I kind of want to see. There's a match going on in the ring. R-Truth runs out. He gets jumped by someone else inside the ring, gets pinned. They run off with the title, and then the match just continues as if nothing happened. That'd be kind of funny.
The 24/7 title changes hands in the middle of a match, which confuses one of the guys in the match, which then he gets rolled up and gets pinned.
That'd be good, yeah. But yeah, I just want to see more than just they're all running after him, and one of them rolls him up, and then he just wins it back later in the show anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you had to give Raw and SmackDown a rating out of 5 this week, what'd you give it?
Can I go negative?
No.
Probably maybe a 1.5 on Raw and a 1 on SmackDown.
I was gonna say a generous 2 for each.
No, they're not being generous, so I'm not gonna be generous.
Which no, they're being generous. They're giving you more matches to watch.
No.
No,
don't give me that loophole. There's more pins, so there's more matches. No.
No, they don't mean anything.
That's not how it works.
They don't mean anything. But
this guy got pinned, but then he pinned the other guy, and then he pinned him again, so he's better, right?
So we're saying 1.5 to 2 out of 5 on both shows?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
It was a very lackluster week. Especially,
when you think about how it's already another like 2.5 weeks away from the next pay-per-view.
Yep.
$10 seems like too much money.
It's better than 50, I guess. Can you imagine if they were booking this while still doing pay-per-views exclusively?
They might be better.
Well, they might be.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I don't know. I feel like a pay-per-view every other month, just like 6 shows a year would be good.
Maybe like,
because you have the Royal Rumble late January. You have WrestleMania in early April.
Mm-hmm.
You've got SummerSlam in August and Survivor Series in November.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you could do...
Why not have one in between each of those? So make it 8.
I would do 6, because then every other month you could still charge it, like the pay-per-view price. But I feel like if you don't have so many big shows to have to lead up to, then that would make just weekly television more interesting.
Yeah.
It's like, titles only change hands on pay-per-views.
It would also...
this is all just filler in between all of that.
That's how it feels now, is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say, because like with NXT, they have such big gaps in between their takeover shows that it's very likely that a title could change hands whenever they have a match on the weekly show.
The NXT title changed hands.
The NXT title changed hands at a house show once.
Exactly. Samoa Joe's first NXT title was at a house show.
Yeah.
Aleister Black's undefeated streak was ended on just a regular episode of NXT.
Yeah.
It wasn't built up. It wasn't anything. It was like...
Just happened.
Things can happen.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the thing. Like, Raw...
Well, NXT is just better written overall, so whatever.
Well, yeah, but Raw... Anything main roster, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, whatever, it's just predictable. It's predictable. It's been seen so many times. It's, It's like, you immediately look at somebody and you're like, oh, they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going to...
For the most part, yeah.
It's like, it's too predictable.
Too predictable. Okay. Gonna change gears now. Just head into the fantasy points. Just kind of tell you how the season ended. Not that anyone cares, but yeah. So as usual, I think I should run off the top 15 because there's way too many people to go through everybody.
Way too many.
Way too many. So number 15 is oh my god. Number 15 is a 5-way tie between Dash Wilder, the Usos, Lars Sullivan, and Scott Dawson. They all have 56 points. Oh, by the way, Raw and Smackdown are not included this week in the points.
No.
Stomping Grounds was the end of season 1.
The finale.
The finale. And we will pick back up starting at SummerSlam. Hopefully. I got a lot of ideas written down. So, but anyway, back to the points.
If it gets worse from here, maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll see. 14th place, Rowan with 60 points. 13th, Xavier Woods with 62. Don't know how Xavier ended up with more than a tag champ. Especially when I feel like Xavier doesn't do that much wrestling.
He's just there a lot.
Yeah. 12th place, Baron Corbin, 65. 11th was Elias with 68. 10th place, Daniel Bryan with 71. 9th was Drew McIntyre with 75. 8th was Ricochet, having won the United States Championship, now has 76 points.
Ricochet.
Number 7, the 24/7 champion, R-Truth, with 89 points. 6th place is Roman Reigns with 91. 5th place is Shane McMahon with 97.
Ugh.
4th place, the SmackDown Women's Champion, Bayley, with 107. 3rd place, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, with 138. 2nd place, the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins, with 167. And in 1st place, as he has been pretty much the entire season, Kofi Kingston, 227 points. But for you, it's 198.
Yeah.
So that's the top 15 at the end of season 1. And Jay got an additional 10 points for winning the Stomping Grounds predictions.
I feel like I should, like, I know I won the predictions, but I got all of them right.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Well, I did have an idea for predictions once season 2 starts, which we can go over that another time once we get it official. But you finished the season with 1,177 points, and I finished with 1,203.
Boo!
So I am your season 1 champion.
Woo! Woo!
Go Josh, you rock, dude.
Yeah, you suck.
Anyway. All right, so next week, I don't know what we're talking about next week, but we're going to have to find more stuff to chat about since the Fantasy League won't be a thing next week.
I have something fantasy related that I want to try and set up for next week.
Okay, we can do that.
I think it's something I've mentioned to you before, but...
Okay. Well, that's pretty much it for the podcast this week. A lot shorter than normal, I feel like. Well, close to. It was about a half hour.
Yeah.
But, yeah, go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you want to hear more of us chit-chatting about wrestling. And we'll be back next week. We will see you later.